Hello astrology lovers, welcome to AstroBasic, the first place to learn astrology. I am Jayant Kumar and I'll be your host for today's session from AstroBasic channel. In last video we have discussed about marriage. What are the houses and planets basically impacting our marriage or marriage to happen or good marital life. So for the continuation of that, today I will be discussing about what are the houses and planets are basically impacting marriage in a bad way, which getting ultimately divorce or separation, or even though if they stay together there is no peace or harmony between them. So in our last video we have discussed and we told that in horoscope house, each house has some significance. So we cannot say just for any event to happen in life, just one house is enough, even though that house is particularly responsible for that event, but it needs support from other house also. So whenever you are analyzing anything, any events in horoscope, you should always consider and see the placement of other houses and relation with that house as well. So for example, in last video I have told like 7th house is a prime house of marriage, because marriage is a family event where two family also meet and it is forming a family. So second house is a family, so it is also required for marriage to happen. So marriage is the fulfillment of desire, so 11th house is also playing important role in marriage. Like that, 5th house is all about love, romance. So if 5th house should also be there if there is a love marriage related things. And 8th house is all about unearned money, so it is related to dowry, so that house is also impacting marriage if there is a dowry in that. Like in India usually there is a dowry system. That now 3rd house is telling that our neighbors, close one to whom we know. So if 3rd house is very influencing the marriage during marriage time, so there is chances like marriage will happen in the close circle or known one. If 9th house also joined with 3rd house and there is a presence of 12th house, so these things shows the travel, so marriage will happen at the foreign place. But the 7th house is the main house. What are the other houses influencing during that marriage time? That says that which type of marriage it will be. Now, same way for the marriage, if it is getting disturbed or if you are finding like how will be their marital life, so we have to analyze 7th house definitely just for the marriage. But what are the houses which impacts marriage in negative way, and what are the planets which impacts marriage in negative ways? So that we will see today. In last video we have already discussed about the houses which impacts the marriage, but to check that marriage which are badly affected or which are bad marriage, there are a couple of things which I have observed which I want to share here. 2nd house, 7th house and 11th house signifies marriage, and if you see in any horoscope, the 12th house from any house usually shows the loss of that particular house. So in this way, like 2nd, 7th and 11th, if you calculate 12th from these three houses, it comes like 1st house, 6th house and 10th house. So if these three houses are predominantly found in most of the planets, that means this person will have bad marriage. Just to get the clue, if you observe the Venus, then you will find that how will be their marriage or love life, because Venus is responsible for it is basically significator of the marriage and love. So check the Venus, if it is badly afflicted by 6th house, 8th house or 12th house, or lord of these houses, or badly afflicted by Rahu, Ketu, Saturn or sometimes Mars in D1 and D9 chart. So if it is badly afflicted, we have to see other parameters as well. These things will only give you the clue. Suppose if Venus is afflicted by Rahu, it doesn't mean always it is giving the separation. Venus and Rahu combination usually creates creativity in the person, and sometimes it is good also. It because Rahu aspects something, it enhances the future. So you cannot assume always like that, but you have to see very carefully. We will see in that example. The constellation in which Venus is placed, Lord of the planets and sub-lord of the constellation shows 1, 6 and 10th house and no presence of 5th or 7th house. So basically I always see the planet which gives result, not the house which he rules or where he sits. Basically he gives result more of the constellation in which he is sitting. So we will see in the next slide with example how it is impacting. Rule number 2 and 3, this whatever is applicable for the Venus, same thing should apply with the 7th house and 7th house lord as well. I have also seen Saturn in the 5th house in bad condition creates problem in marriage because it aspects the 2nd house, 7th house and 11th house. 5th is Drishti. This is my personal observation, and I have seen several charts where marriage are badly afflicted. This is when 7th lord is in 6th house, creates problem in marriage. Either it will delay the marriage or create trouble after marriage, or even after it end up in separation. So we have to analyze each factor very carefully before prediction. And if these things you are seeing, it doesn't confirm there will be divorce or there will always be the bad marriage, because most of the things depends on the Mahadasa. So if he has good Mahadasa and good Antardasa, so if these things are applicable, then Mahadasa is good. So somehow they will face some bad time or bad challenges, but it won't end up in like divorce or something. They might separate for 2-3 months or those things, but it won't be end up in the separation of that. In this slide you will see I have just highlighted what are the houses which creates problem or which are causing divorce. So first house, 6th house and 10th house. This is 12 from the 2nd, 12 from the 7th and 12 from the 11th house. So what first house is? It is about the self. Second house is family and first house self. 7th house is marriage. 6th house is prime house for divorce. And it also shows open enemy. 11th house is fulfillment of desire, gain. 10th house is loss to 11th house and creates dryness in relationship. If along with 1, 6 and 10, if 8th house and 12th house is also present, so it is more challenging time in the marriage, because 8th house shows the insult and 12th house also shows the expense and loss. That peace basically get lost, the restlessness of mind. And if the separative planets Rahu, Ketu and Saturn, these 3 planets, if it is coming in Mahadasa, Antardasa and Pratyantardasa, then the chances are very high divorce will happen, because usually divorce happen when in Mahadasa, Antardasa, Pratyantardasa anyone is either ruled by Rahu, Ketu or Saturn. 90% chances these are the 3 planets which is coming into Mahadasa, Antardasa and Pratyantardasa, anyone, anywhere, are the planet which is aspected by these 3 houses is coming in the Mahadasa, Antardasa and Pratyantardasa. I have taken one example where the people, this person chart, in this he got married, he had very bad marriage, and then he divorced and he remarried. So in this if you see, so I just want to show you whatever rule we have discussed. So just check the Venus in D1 chart, the main chart. So if you see the Venus here, it is aspected by Mars, and if you see it is also aspected by Sun, which is Lord of 8th house. It is aspected by Mercury, which is Lord of 6th house. Here it is aspected by Saturn and another malefic planets, and Rahu is also aspecting that. And I'm not seeing anything auspicious here which is Venus is getting. Only thing is he's sitting in exalted sign, so Venus is in good condition, but the planets which is aspecting me, giving him, so he's badly affected. And Jupiter, even it is aspecting, but Jupiter is Lord of 12th house, so it is again Venus is in very not in very good condition. Now come to the 7th house. 7th house Rahu is sitting. That's another problem. The Lord of 7th house sitting in the 6th house. That's my observation which I shared you. So that again creating the problem. And if you see here, Saturn is aspecting this moon, and Mars is also aspecting the moon. Usually Mars and Saturn, these two malefic planets, if aspects anything, so usually they say that they burnt that things. So here Venus is also getting afflicted with Rahu. So this is in D1. If you go to the D9 chart, check the Venus and 7th Lord situation here. So in D9 you will see this moon and Venus is afflicted by Rahu. But if you see Venus is like Vargottam, here also it is exalted, here also it is exalted. So Venus is strong. Definitely it will give him the luxury, the benefit, the enjoyment of life. But particularly for the marriage, if you see, Venus is afflicted here. Now if we analyze the 7th house here, then we find that Ketu is again sitting here, aspecting this one. 7th house Lord is in 8th house, another problem. And the Lord of the 6th house and the Lord of the 8th house here, Sun, is aspecting the Moon and Venus here. So that is again a problem. Here this Saturn malefic is aspecting this Mercury here, the 7th house Lord. That is again problem. It is also Lord of the 12th house. So you will see in both the condition, the 7th house Lord and the Venus and is not in very good condition. That shows that this person has to suffer in the marital life. Now I will take reference of the KP astrology or Umang Taneja astrology method, Nadi astrology method. In that they are taking the Lord and sub-Lord level. So in that, if I will analyze Venus again, then I found the Venus is sitting in the nakshatra of Revati, which is ruled by Mercury. And the planet which Venus shows is 3rd house, 5th house and 10th house. 3rd house where Venus is sitting, 5th house and the 10th house. But it gives result most of the nakshatra. So what is the nakshatra of Mercury? Which house they shows? Mercury shows the 3rd house, 6th house and 9th house. In this if you see, so Venus will try to give result of these 3 houses. So 6th house is for divorce, is for separation, and there is no positive planet which is supporting the 6th house. KP astrology says that if you go further to the sub-Lord level, then you will find that whether they will able to give this result or not. If nakshatra is telling some result promising, sub-Lord will say whether they will able to fulfill that result or not. And if you find the 1st, 2nd, 2nd and 9th, it is supporting the 6th, 1st house, and there is no 7th house, 5th house, this type of combinations here. And they consider sub-Lord is stronger than nakshatra and nakshatra is stronger than planet. So here if it is bad, it will be bad. So though here 9th house is there, 3rd house, 1st house, 2nd house, so these houses are there, good house, but particularly for the marriage, because I am analyzing marriage now, this is wrong, this is problematic. Now I will analyze the 7th Lord, Moon. If you see, it is sitting in the nakshatra of Rahu. Rahu sitting in the Moon, nobody is expecting Rahu, and so Rahu will behave like a Moon. So Moon is showing the 6th house and 7th house, because his Lord of 7th house sitting in 6th house. So 6 and 7, and sub-Lord is Mars. So 3rd house, 4th house and 11th house, these 3 houses is showing 7th house marriage and 6th house separation. Both are equally strong. Even 11th house here, it is showing the fulfillment of desire. So this person will definitely get married. if this 11 instead of 11 the 10 or different houses will be there, then chances are very high this person will get married very difficult, and might be not the second time or something. But this person got married, but because sixth is also very strong, so this person, chances are he will get separated. So when it will happen, when he got divorced, when he got married, and when he got again the second time he got married, these things we have to check in the Mahadasa, Antardasa and Pratyantardasa. So that I will be discussing in upcoming videos. So right now I just wanted to show you how to see, how to get the clue, and how to know the which are the houses and planets are basically impacting the bad marriage, and how you can see, get a look, and you can understand about the whether this person has to suffer from the bad marriage, or even end up with divorce. So this was my analysis for houses and planets for the bad marriage. And if you have any question, you can go to my website www.astrobasic.com to ask questions. And if you have any question related to your life, then you can also go to ask your question section in my website and ask your question. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below, or a small YouTube tiny icon, and all the links has been given in the description. So stay tuned. See you in next video. Bye bye. Means first house is yourself, and seventh house is like your partner. The seventh house is legally marriage, which we say in society, that represents that. That's your relationship with a spouse and partnership and all those things that represent by the seventh house. So if you